Hey guys, welcome back to my hashtag TBR Takedown TBR. So the TBR Takedown takes place from today, January 4th, until Sunday, January the 10th. It's hosted by Shannon over at Leaning Lights, and I will link her channel down below. And there are 7 challenges for the participants to participate in, and I am doing all of them. I plan on reading 6 books because one book fulfills both challenges, and we're just going to get started. Challenge number 1 is to read a book from your most recent book haul. For this one, I'm already reading my book since it is already January the 4th. It is The Screaming Staircase by Jonathan Stroud. This is Lockwood & Co. book number 1. It's a book set in London. It's about ghosts. Basically, the concept of the story is that the problem occurred sometime in the past 6 decades, and basically ghosts just started happening more often. They're called visitors, and strangely enough only children can see them and really take them down. And so this is a middle grade book about it's about 3 kids who own Lockwood & Co., which is a ghost hunting agency, and it's about their adventures hunting ghosts and how dangerous it is and everything. Actually, since I'm already reading this, I can kind of provide a comment on it. Currently, it's really hard for me to remember. Actually, no. Currently, I keep having to remind myself that these are kids. Their viewpoints are so mature, and I can't tell if it's unrealistically so, or if because of the time they would have to be so mature that it's realistic. I don't know. I think I'm going to decide. I'm definitely loving it. Probably going to be at least a 4.5 star book if nothing happens. I'm only 20 or 30% of the way through, so that's kind of a big prediction, but I do plan on reading the rest of the series at this point. The second challenge is to read a book that's been on your TBR for over a year. For this one, I'm going with Gloria O'Brien's History of the Future by A.S. King. I know that in this book, a girl drinks a bat. That's about all I know. I actually met A.S. King 2 years ago when I got this book signed, so it's been on my TBR since I met her. That's a long time. That was in October of 2014, so not quite 2 years ago, but a year and a half ago. But I definitely need to get this read because I enjoyed the other 2 A.S. King books that I've read. The third challenge is to read a book that's outside your comfort zone. For this one, I'm kind of cheating a little bit. This book is an adult fantasy book, and I adore adult fantasy. I'm calling it outside my comfort zone, though, because typically in the past couple of years I've reached exclusively for YA and really haven't read much outside of that broad genre, and so getting back into it is kind of I don't know where to start, so I'm going to call it a little bit outside of my comfort zone. The book is Soulless by Gail Carriger. Gail Carriger is known in the YA community for her Etiquette and Espionage series, which is actually a prequel series to this one, and she also just released a new series called Prudence, which is a spin-off series of this one. I believe it's about the main character's daughter, and so I know this is paranormal. I know Lindsay over at Lindsay Ray loves this series. Basically, the main character is soulless, as it says in the title, and so when she touches paranormal creatures, they lose their powers. So if she touches a vampire, it stops being a vampire. And I'm not sure if that's a permanent side effect or just when she's touching them. I guess I'll have to find out when I read it. But I'm really, really excited for this one. I've actually already started hunting for the second book in this series so I can read it as well, because I just know that I'm going to love it, and I'm really, really excited to finally get to it. I'm also using this book for the challenge, Read the First Book in a Series, as it is the first book in the Parasol Protectorate series. The 5th challenge is to complete a series or read a sequel. For this one, I'm going to read Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry. This is the 2nd book in the Giver Quartet. My only issue with this is that I may have to go back and reread The Giver because it's been about a year or so since I read The Giver for the 2nd time, so I might have to go back and read it a 3rd time to fully remember what's going on, or I might just look up a review or 2 to kind of give myself a good recap before diving into Gathering Blue. I bought this last month in the hopes that I would reread this series this year, so I'd really like to kick it off by starting that journey. The 6th challenge is to read a fire-colored book, so pinks, reds, oranges, lilac, that kind of colors. Apparently those are the lucky colors for 2016. For this challenge, I'm going to read another book that I recently bought. It is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the first book in the Illuminae files. It just came out, I'm not sure when, I think in August, maybe, of last year. I know the sequel's been announced. I think it's called Gemini or something. I'll put the title right here. You can see it right now. That's what the second one is called. Everybody seems to be absolutely loving this. It's really interesting if you haven't heard about it. It's written in like case files and conversations and pictures and blueprints, like that one, or is that the right way? I don't know. That one, whichever way it goes, and it seems like it's really big, but it seems to me like it'd be a pretty quick read to do during a readathon, so I'm really excited to get to this one. Also, under the jacket, it is just absolutely beautiful, I swear. And the final challenge is to read a non-novel item. For this one, I'm also kind of bending the rules a bit. It's not a novel, it's mythology, so you can probably already guess what it is. But it's told in the voice of a fictional character, so it's kind of a novel, kind of not really. It's like a short story anthology more. It is Percy Jackson's Greek Gods by Rick Riordan and John Rocco. The catch for this one is that I'm already 60-something, 67% of the way through with it, but I've been that way since January of last year when I did Bout of Books, and I tried to get through it. I had already started it, and so I tried to just finish it, and I didn't because it's just an absolutely gigantic book, and don't get me wrong, it's amazing, and I love reading it, and it's so much fun, and I really enjoy learning mythology and all that kind of stuff. It's just, it's kind of bulky, you know, it's kind of a big read, and it's not like the text is super huge or anything. Like, they've got block quotes, but that's not tiny text. So, hopefully I will finally trudge my way through the last 33% of this gigantic book, also because I just got Greek Heroes and now I need to read that. So these are all the books I plan on reading for TBR Takedown this week. That's what that's called, the week. Since I'm already making good headway into the Screaming Staircase, it's 5:30 on January the 4th, so hopefully I'll be able to trudge through the last of this tonight. And I'm thinking about doing really short update videos for this per day or every 2 days. I'll definitely be doing a wrap-up and just talking about how I did with the challenges, but I'm not exactly sure what I want to do yet, so I'll just have to decide later on in the week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, keep reading.